Good evening. Welcome you all this evening. We're sorry we are a little bit tardy, but the devil is a whole lie. We're still going to go forth on this evening, but I want to welcome you all on behalf of Purpose Journey Counseling LLC New Beginnings. We're still operating in new beginnings in the year of 2025, and it's also a new month. It is June. Now, I don't know if you live in Cincinnati, it hasn't been feeling too much like it's going into almost summer, but we are grateful for the sun shining on today, and we're grateful to be here this evening for our monthly podcast. My name is Dr. Ntatu North, and I am the owner and therapist at Purpose Journey Counseling LLC, which is located in Cincinnati, Ohio. So as you're coming in, like I said, we're a little bit later than expected this evening, but we know God is still going to bless this conversation. So it's about 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we are live. We're live on Facebook, and we are live on YouTube. And I am in the process, actually, right now, of sharing this link on Instagram. So we ask that you take just a few moments just to like this broadcast. Please follow us on your preferred social media platforms. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate that. And also share. Let's go ahead and share and interact and engage in the comment section on this evening. We love to dialogue and have conversation. We do have participants in our podcast, but we do appreciate the comments because it does help the conversation to flow, and the dialogue is definitely warranted. So go ahead and let us know you're here in the comment section as you're joining, as you're sharing, as you're liking, as you're subscribing, as you're following, all those good things. I promise it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. And we appreciate it. We talk about hidden gems, and it's just something about having platforms that are speaking positivity. There's a lot of negativity going on in the world. So we definitely want to promote positive things, and we are absolutely here doing positive things. So while you're taking the time to do that, for those of you, it's your first time tuning in, we want to give you a special shout out this evening and say welcome to you. You might be wondering, what's Purpose Journey Counseling LLC? Well, we are a mental health private practice. We are located in Cincinnati, Ohio. We provide individual, family, and couples counseling. And we work with children starting at about the age of 5. We work with adolescents, and we work with adults. So we do a wide range of things. As I said, I'm the owner and founder, but I have interns and I have other therapists who work with us as well. We enjoy mental health. We enjoy working with people. We enjoy serving our community. And our motto, one of our mottos at Purpose Journey Counseling, is that it is okay to have Jesus and a therapist too. It's okay to have both. Before we go any further, every time we are together, I like to give this information. If you are experiencing any type of mental health emergency, or someone else may be experiencing one, I want to share this information with you. This is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. The number is 988. Again, that number is 988. The number is 24/7. You can call this number or you can text this number. There are people who are ready to talk. Maybe you don't want to talk to somebody you know. Maybe you're not comfortable really even maybe you're not ready to talk to a therapist yet. But this can be a great step if you're experiencing some type of mental health emergency. Please, please, please make sure you have this number stored in your phone, just so if there's a crisis, a mental health crisis, and you need a resource, this is definitely a viable resource. So please make sure you have this information. So as you're coming in, good evening, sis. Good evening. Thank you for always tuning in. And good evening, Mother. Thank you for always tuning in as well. We appreciate you all, your support, and always being here. So it is our podcast, and hashtag from a Christian, hashtag from a therapist with Dr. Ntatu. This is episode 24, entitled, Am I Doing Too Much? Yes, it is about exactly what it sounds like. Am I doing too much? We're going to be talking this evening. We're going to be looking at things from the perspective of females as well as from a male, because we want to give both sides of the story. A lot of times people assume that only women get stressed out. Women are always doing this. Women are always doing that. Well, men are doing it too. So we definitely want to highlight that. So as I stated, we have been having some technical difficulties this evening. The devil is a whole lie. The devil's a lie. So we are, I'm actually going to have to do things a little bit different than usual. So our co-host is going to be joining us. We'll be able to hear her for a while, not see her just yet. She's en route to be able to be on camera, but we'll be able to hear her. And so I'm pretty much going to bring everybody out kind of together. Usually I bring out our co-host first and then our guest, but I'm kind of going to bring everybody on at the same time. So first, I just want to give a shout out. We're going to welcome our co-host, Ms. Kia Cannon, and then we're also going to welcome our guests. Good evening.
Good evening.
Where'd you come from? Well, good evening, you all. I mean, just saying. So I want to give you guys a chance to introduce yourselves. Kia, you want to go first?
Sure. So hello again to everyone tuning in. I'm Kia Cannon. I am Dr. Ntatu's sister. I am the one who is currently en route to being able to be on camera. But I am just a friend of the family. No, I am family.
Thank
and
you.
Just kind of helping out my sister with her podcast here. So I will see you all soon. But hello.
Yeah, I just want to say that Kia is our permanent co-host. So we are grateful for her and her commitment and just her contribution to this podcast as a whole. She's always amazing. She's an amazing human being. So I am definitely honored. And I just wanted to say that because I've been waiting to say that for a long time. So praise God for that. Bridget, would you like to go next?
Sure. My name is Bridget Blackman Gaines. I have a few handles that I go by, but TTBB is my favorite. No, I should say mine is my favorite. I don't know. Anyway, I'm Bridget. And yeah, I do too much. That's all I got.
Welcome, Bridget. And this gentleman to my left, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Rusty Shackelford. More I know. Dr. Ntatu.
Well, welcome, the husband of Dr. Ntatu North. This is going to be a great evening. It's going to be a great evening. So, of course, before we get started, we have to do an icebreaker, and it's a real simple one. Everybody, we all eat chicken. Drumsticks or flats?
Both.
Flats.
Drumsticks.
You would be the eyeball.
Because flats, you gotta take them apart. You gotta do too much, and then you gotta get all the meat off.
Yeah, drumsticks is too much. I feel like it's more work with the drumstick. You gotta get all off. No, don't nobody want that. If it's a piece of chicken, you talking about the wingdings. If it's a piece of chicken, then still wings over flats. Wings over drumsticks. That's a lie. I like drumsticks. It's chicken. I'm gonna eat it all.
What I should say is baked or fried.
Fried.
Baked.
Fried.
Baked. Definitely baked.
I think our co-host is here. Maybe.
That was faster than I thought.
Dun, dun, dun. Hanging up.
Oh, look at God. See, right on time. Right after ice has been broken, you are in the building. I told you the devil was a whole lie.
The devil, man.
So, well, welcome. And now we can see your beautiful face here. You see, it wasn't even that long. So, as we're getting started this evening, we just had to have our little fun icebreaker. But I do want to share a scripture because this is, I think, going to be good for us to kind of get to the point of things this evening. But our scripture is coming from Genesis chapter 2, verses 2 through 3. And it reads, by the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all his work. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. Keyword rested. So that's going to be kind of in the back of our minds as we're getting started this evening. So again, talking about am I doing too much? I kind of gave that intro there. So we're going to go into some questions and have some discussion here. So first question goes to Bridget and Lamar, of course. What hats do you wear? What roles do you have? And yes, you can list all of them.
Ladies first.
Of course. Because you're my brother. Okay, sorry. Let's see. Wife, mom, minister, sister, daughter, cook, maid, transportation, tutor. I have a job. Manager, manager, babysitter. That's all I can think of at this time.
Was that like 2 full hands worth of stuff?
Plus
Yeah.
plus a couple fingers. Yeah.
Yeah, I say, and some toes too.
I did legit forget about my job. I was like, wait, what else do I do?
But I think that's a good point. We'll come back to that.
Ooh. Pretty much everything that Bridget said, except the mom, it's the dad.
Sorry.
You were a maid or a butler?
All the above. Plus my job, supervisor on supply chain at the hospital. But yeah, that's everything she listed, just with dad and husband in front of it.
Minister. Y'all heard it here.
You a deacon?
Deacon. There we go.
Deacon. I should have put deacon on the name. Sorry.
No. But yeah, basically what she said, like I said, just substituting in a couple of titles.
Coach.
I forgot about that. Coach, yeah.
Uncle, godfather. Daddy.
You got a whole lawn care business.
That's cool. See, I add no stuff. Yeah, so what they said plus what Bridget said.
So essentially, we got like all the fingers and all the toes.
Mm-hmm. All of them.
Couple extra hands.
And I just thought it was interesting, Bridget, how you named all of that. Then you thought about your job.
Mm.
Like that wasn't even like in the top 5.
No. Because all of that stuff has to happen even if I don't have the other thing.
Yep.
Right.
Like that's the one thing that you don't get a break from. Unless somebody volunteers to give you a break from it. But that's the one thing that you don't get a break from. Those are the things that you have to do.
Even then, do you really? Because you might not be actively, like I'm assuming you're talking about being a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you may not actively be parenting, like they might not be in your presence, you're always mentally parenting. Like even if they're not in your presence, you're thinking about what they need. You're thinking about what you got to do for them. You're thinking about the next thing to do. So I don't think we ever get a break from parenting.
I think I was just telling Mom that, like, I can't really take a real vacation because on vacation, I'm thinking about, might be you. I'm thinking about what the boys are doing. Are they okay? Are they acting right? Am I going to have to come home early because whatever the reason is, it's an ongoing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm the complete opposite of that. I don't be thinking about none of that when I'm
And I do, because I was thinking like even if we go on a trip without the kids,
Dude.
I mean we're still parents because God forbid they need. I mean, well, some have or they just need us. We still got to answer the phone. I mean, you can't completely ignore them.
You can't.
That's what their grandparents for. That's why they.
But
Well,
at some point, you're still
sometimes-
gonna get that phone call because even if grandma and granddad step in that moment, you're still gonna have to talk to them about it. So at some point, you getting that phone call.
When we get home, yeah, for sure.
It depends on what it is, though.
Nah,
So
This
What
is
I am saying.
then yes. If it's not, don't call me. Y'all got it.
Okay, so gotcha. So essentially, though, a lot of those roles we can't ever really disconnect from.
No.
Mm-mm.
Even if we're on vacation, even if it's a break, essentially, is still there, basically.
Because it's not a hat, it's an identity.
Mm.
You can't take that off. That's who we are.
That when you're on vacation, you throw the hat.
Get away.
You're still dad on vacation.
So what I hear you saying is you don't take the phone call, so everybody diverts their calls to Ntatu.
There we go. Let me know what happens after that.
But see, the funny thing is, I typically call because I'm still a mom. Because, like you talk about an identity, I like that even better because I'm a mom. When my kids are not with me, I still be concerned about them. I mean, I don't disconnect because that's just me. That's just who I am.
Even if my kids are gone for a weekend. Like, I laugh and joke about it. Like, if they're gone for 2 days, that first day I might be like Lamar, like, okay, I ain't thinking about it. But as soon as that second day hits, it's like, okay, what's going on with my kid? Matter of fact, my kid's in Cleveland. And literally, she was the first night she was gone. I was okay. Then the next day I'm like, wait a minute, why haven't I heard from you? I need to hear from you. What's going on up there? What's happening? So, all right, brother.
I guess it's just different.
It is.
But you see what his shirt says, though?
Mm-hmm.
You're a real good father. Who you are? I forgot we just laughed.
Touchdown wherever we at.
What's up, bro?
What's up, brother?
Out of here.
I gotta take my hair down. Sorry, y'all. My hair hurt.
No problem.
And I'm sorry, Dr. Ntatu. I know this is a professional setting, but this is me, professional or non-professional.
It's fine. As long as it wasn't like a wig and you decided to take it off.
Like that one girl that was on that podcast and it fell on the back of the couch.
Oh. Sorry, this was so
Crazy work.
Second question, Tia, do you want to do the second question?
All right. So, since clearly we all wear a number of hats / identities, what percentage of time do you feel like you might be overwhelmed by having to carry all of those? And why would you say that much of your time feels overwhelming?
You got it, bro.
I want to hear this one. I'm curious.
Time do I feel overwhelmed? Only time I really feel overwhelmed is if I have a long day at work and then I have to carry that into what I have to do when I get home or get off, with the kids being when they were in school, picking them up from school, coming home, cooking, laundry. So like if my work day is hectic, then most of the time that's when I feel overwhelmed. But I kind of balance it out if I had an okay day at work, because it's a lot of stuff that goes into trying to
Mama.
supplies for a hospital.
I'm sorry. I'm not invited back again.
It's okay. We heard you last time anyway, even though you weren't on, so it's all good.
That's the only time I feel overwhelmed. I don't really have a percentage. It's like a day by day basis. Percentage where I have it set.
So even it's kind of like the days that you have long days at work. Would you say it's maybe 50% of the time, or would you say it's more than that?
I say about 60.
So maybe 60. Okay, I get that. What about you, Bridget? Mom, PT, wife?
I am overwhelmed right now. I am overwhelmed. sorry. My kids just came in, so I just got caught off guard.
But I think this proves a point too. But go ahead.
Yes, I am overwhelmed. I want to say 80% of the time. 80% of the time. And there are very few times. I'm trying to think. I'm overwhelmed a lot. A lot. Between kids, work, ministry, I can rarely find a fine balance of time or can prioritize because everything is important. God is definitely important. My kids is important. Gotta work so I can pay for my kids. And so I think a lot of the time when I find myself overwhelmed is because I'm trying to figure out like, oh my God, all of these things are important and I want to prioritize the right thing. And yeah, it goes down the drain. So I find myself overwhelmed. I think 80% is being still lenient. I find myself overwhelmed a lot.
I expected yours to be higher.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, it's like 99.9% of the time.
So I don't know if anybody's ever seen that Hulk meme where somebody asked him how he keeps his rage intact. And it says, that's the secret. I'm always angry. There's a meme that says, how do you keep from being overwhelmed? That's the secret. I'm always overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that is very much the space that I know that you live in and I live in too from time to time. I wouldn't say always, maybe 60% of the time, 65% of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if I'm thinking about it too, I'm probably overwhelmed at least 85% of the time. And the only reason why I probably wouldn't say 99.9 is only because of what you just said, Kia. I live in a state of always being overwhelmed. Like I always have way too much going on. I don't know what it means to have nothing.
That, and if you do, it feels weird.
It does. Like yesterday, I had nothing on my schedule yesterday other than going to the gym, and we end up at the skating rink. And then being the kids wanted to go is cool, but that was like a whole half of a day worth of an outing between going to pick kids up from different places. Like it turned into a whole thing, and I'm like, I thought I was just gonna sit at home yesterday and just kind of like stare at the ceiling. I would have enjoyed that, but
I did.
So
y'all learn to take that out the door.
I consider myself. David. They're not like us. So I feel like I drive myself to be overwhelmed too. If I'm being honest, because technically I was off Friday. I was off from work. And what did I do Friday? I worked. I was off last Friday. I worked. The only day that I did not work and I was technically off was Monday, but sorry, I keep forgetting I'm live. My face is on. I'm used to talking and not seeing my face.
It's okay. We can see your face though. Just know that. We can see you.
Everybody can see you.
We can see you.
You were invisible.
So
I put his
I didn't have anything. I didn't have to go to work, and I didn't do work. But I went to what did we do? We went to the show, and I found myself overwhelmed with that. Like I felt myself shutting down. Matter of fact, all last weekend, like we had a great time Saturday at the party, and then Sunday came for the picnic, and I'm like, okay, I'm peopled out. I'm everybody out. I don't want nobody to talk to me. Matter of fact, I went to sleep at the picnic.
You did.
I was peopled out. But it takes a lot for me, which we already just said I do a lot, but it takes a whole lot for me to get to that space because I'm so used to going, and expecting my body to keep up. But God has sat me down multiple times, so.
That part. It happens though. Oh, you see the side eye you just got? That was a real strong. I'm glad that you're sitting right next to her because she got the real strong side eye. Like both eyes. That wasn't one on both eyes.
When I tell you the reason that I feel like I only stay 65% overwhelmed is because I'm fighting to keep her from being overwhelmed. Like I'm constantly trying to figure out what can you offload? Like what can you stop? What can you not do? Like this ain't good. This doesn't you can't operate at this level 100% of the time. So what can we do?
That's fair.
Yeah, because you burn out. And like you say, your body will shut you down because God will sit you down if you don't sit down. I mean, also, it's not even good for us to operate like that. Like being overstimulated all of the time. That's not really not good for your brain either.
Yeah.
Can't burn the candlestick at both ends. Very true, bro.
Thanks, Yoda. You know I love him.
Comment in a minute. So, okay. So I guess Lamar seems like the least overwhelmed.
I know.
Nice.
Because look, this is, and I was trying to tell her this. You have to differentiate from what you have to do and what you want to do.
Let's go to that question then, because that was a question. How do you differentiate? Let me move this up. Yeah, that was question 7. We're gonna do that now.
You have to differentiate what you want to do and what you have to do. I don't let myself get overwhelmed with anything that I don't have to do. Right? If it's something that I want to do, if I'll do it. If I want to do it, I'm gonna do it. If I don't, I don't. But I think what the problem is, a lot of people have, like you said, they don't know how to shut everything down. So, prime example, Saturday. I love my babies to death. They would have had to wait another Saturday to go skating because that would have been her. That's her only free day that I know of where she didn't have nothing else on the calendar on the refrigerator, right? I'd have told them, hey, sweethearts, we'll have to go another time. You didn't do that. She ended up being out all day while I was at home watching movies.
No, real life.
So, like, you know, I'll tell y'all the same thing because y'all my sisters and I love y'all. Sometimes you gotta tell people no, man. So no. Hey, bro, can you no?
That's another question. That's the next question.
Yeah. Hey, bro, can you no? Nope, I can't do it.
Go ahead, Bridget. Go ahead, go ahead.
I fail on all of the above that you said because that conversation that we had about the skating period, I was praying that it didn't even get to my kid.
That's why I tried to forewarn you. That's to let you know.
And I think I let myself get guilted. I guilt myself and I let my kids guilt me sometimes into doing stuff. Like Saturday was definitely for me like now this is gonna suck if it gets out that they had the opportunity to go skating and mom kiboshed it because whatever reason she had. And I don't know. It's a hard situation for me. Like some of it is, I want my kids to have as much fun as they possibly can. And so the guilt from that ran into that. And when it comes to no, I used to believe the lie that I told myself, and I still do sometimes, that if I'm telling you no, that must mean there's a reason. So it's going to it takes a lot for me to say no. So if I'm telling you no, that really means that I can't, that I just can't. And so I feel like that's a lie because I still wind up saying yes. Even when it's no. Even when it's no. Even when it's like, I don't have the money to do this. I'm scraping like, I made it happen. Ta-da. And it sucks on the other side because like today, I'm burnt. I am tired. I wish I would have stuck to my no instead of trying to figure it out. So I haven't mastered no, and on any level, not even with kids, with work, with church. I have not mastered no. And yes, I know that it's what you always say.
A complete sentence.
A complete sentence.
Yes, no is a complete sentence. Like, there doesn't have to be a reason to say no.
No.
There doesn't have to be an explanation to anyone else.
Nobody.
If it's no, because of whatever reason you have, it's no. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. By a long shot, I'm not very good at telling people no. But at the same time, like you said, if it's no, if it has to be no, it has to be no. And that's the end of it. Like, sometimes I do feel like I have to give an explanation depending on the situation, and I might go into it a little bit. But once it's no, hey, if I can make it happen, if I could make it happen, I would. But if I can't, I can't. And that's with every resource, whether it's financial, whether it's energy, whether it's time. If I can't make it happen, I can't make it happen. And the answer is no. We only have so much time. We only have so much of our resources. So if the answer is no, the answer is no.
Let me ask you a question. Move on.
No, because I got a comment. No, you can ask the question, but I got a comment because I'm gonna answer the question. Go ahead.
I'll let you go.
So here's my thing. Because we're doing these questions simultaneously. How do you differentiate between what you have to do? I can't sometimes. I don't always know. It's not always clear. And me and Bridget, I think, are a lot alike in this regard. And Kia and Lamar are a lot alike in the other regard. I'm not going to be there. I'm not going. I'm not doing it. How you can't, it's not always clear what you have to do versus what you want to do. And sometimes it's hard to say no because you kind of want to say yes because you might kind of want to do it. You kind of need to do it, but maybe you really just don't have the bandwidth, but you still really actually need to do it. And that's my problem is that, yeah, we're going to get to that, Mom. We do. But that's my thing. Sometimes boundaries are a little bit like looser because it's like, if you ask me to do something and I don't want to do it, but I know you really need me to do it, then I'm probably going to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just being honest because that's just who I am.
Right. Because you're depending on me.
Exactly. And how do you tell somebody
you beat me to it? I was trying not to raise my hand. You beat me to it.
I can say no, but how do you say no if you want to? What's up, bro?
Hey, brother.
Go ahead, Deacon. Tell us.
Check this out. If you tell the person no that's asking you to do something, you think they're gonna figure it out?
That's not.
Yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
Maybe.
Yes, they will, because if it's something that they really need to figure out, they're gonna figure it out.
But what if they don't?
Then that's not on you.
Nothing to do with you.
But if they ask me,
That's if they ask you and you can't do it.
I do y'all one better. Let's say you overwhelmed with everything you got going on, right? Let's use church as an example. Right? Let's say let's use that one. We're gonna use church as an example.
more.
You're overwhelmed and you can't do something at church. Nobody should be able to guilt trip you into doing that if it's gonna overwhelm you and make you feel like you have too much on your plate, right? So what happens if you're too overwhelmed and heaven forbid your body shuts down?
Mm-hmm.
And people that you're trying to do stuff for, you think they're gonna be there for you if something happens?
Yeah.
Depending on the person. It depends. But
look at it a different way. If you shut down, it's not going to get done by you anyway.
That part. And are they gonna check on you to make sure you good on a regular basis? Or are they gonna hit you? Yo, you good? Nah, X, Y, and Z. I'm praying for you, and that's gonna be the extent of it.
This candy real good.
I'm a firm believer. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. If you ain't got it to give, how you gonna give it?
And so that's I agree with what both of you are saying. My thing is sometimes you do have a little bit. Your tank's not on E.
But you shouldn't.
You might have an eighth of a tank.
But you shouldn't be getting to the point.
And you use
you shouldn't empty yourself out that you don't need to.
I'm sorry, because I'm getting ready to kind of use something I believe I learned from you.
Oh.
You have to give from your overflow, not what's left over. Because if you're giving what's just like what you're fighting to get for yourself, then what you're giving isn't your best anyway.
I agree. And I feel like I tell my clients this stuff, but practice. Because I tell them all the time, like set boundaries and people will adjust. I tell them all the time. I tell them all the time.
I'll give y'all another example. Let's say let's use family, for example. Let's say you're doing everything else for everybody outside of your household. And then when it comes time for you to something that you have to do for your family, you're tapped out and you can't do it because you're pouring it to everybody else outside of your responsibilities.
Well, I was gonna say what bro just said. Home is your first ministry. Absolutely,
Sure.
and I believe that hands down. It is. It definitely is.
But it's a good way to learn that though.
And
Yeah,
people have different definitions of what's included in home. Some people believe that home isn't just the people, like just not the family you create. It includes everyone. That is all home. Is that really, like, don't get me wrong. Yes, you want to be there for the people who are in your family that you care about, but the one that you're in charge of, the one that you were placed over, that is your first ministry.
You're right. You're absolutely correct. And I think family can be first, but then sometimes you got like a real close second, and it can bleed into the.
Now I'm getting starting to feel like rubber dance.
Listen, they don't understand.
No, we do.
I'm gonna tell you this. There's a handful of people that I can count on. Let's say if I did get overwhelmed, there's a handful of people I can count on that will help my family out if something happened to me. You two, Q and Keisha, David, outside of our parents.
If you don't say Marquita, I'm gonna punch you with the screen.
Yeah, but what is Marquita?
I got your back, sis.
It's some in these Mike and Ikes. Put them down. What is this?
Those are the only people that I can say that if I shut down mentally or physically, those are the people, like I said, outside of our parents, those are the people I can count on. Ain't nobody else coming in here to help us out. And that's why I don't give my energy to people that I don't feel like I have to. If I say I can't be there because of whatever, don't guilt trip me, because then what's going to happen is the next time you ask me to do something, it's going to be a quick no. It's not going to be no thinking about it.
I get it. It's not always a guilt trip, though. I mean, Mom, that's a good question. What is your why?
And I tell you all the time.
Yes.
But that makes things worse, though.
What?
Answering that question for me. Because I have to consider two things when it comes to ministry and then when it comes to my family. Mm-hmm. Because my why for my ministry is to serve. Mm-hmm. And I serve God, right? So sometimes the things that I have to do, to your point, Dr. North, come really close to the things that I have to do for my family, because I can't just not do the things that I am supposed to be doing in this role. Right. Now, I do believe that God would not call me to do something that's going to tear me completely away from my family, because he did give me that as a responsibility. But when you serve in at the capacity of a minister or a pastor, sometimes it does feel like a greater sacrifice because you have so many things that are competing. And that's a lot of my struggle. That's a lot of my struggle. Like there are things that I need to do for my church. There are things that I need to do for my own ministry that I need time for, that I don't always have time for. But it always sits in the back of my mind. Are you doing what you're supposed to do? Are you doing what you're supposed to do? Is this what you're supposed to be doing right now? Like, y'all get on my case all the time. Bridget, you see, go home. But if I have the activity of my limb and I can make this is my mind going. If I have the activity of my limb and I can make it, and I ain't contagious, let me say that, then I'm gonna go.
Go ahead, Lamar. Go ahead.
So again, we're gonna use church as an example since you said that's your ministry that you have. You've been called to do. I'm trying to think how to put this. When other people get overwhelmed at church, you see them take a break.
Mm-hmm.
Right? All right, cool. So then you have to have that same what's the word I'm looking for?
Like
you have to have that same care for yourself that the other people do that's ministering with you as well. Because when you see people, I'm not gonna name no names, when you see people at church that are overwhelmed and you take a break, they take a break. There's no asking why, there's no guilt tripping them into why they doing it. They do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't overexert yourself because you're not gonna never have nothing. Forget the family aspect. You're not gonna have nothing for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're always tapped out, and you always tired, and you always overwhelmed. Yeah. Like you have to learn how to shut certain things down. And not saying that you can't minister like you're supposed to, but everybody has to recharge their battery, right? It's like your car. If you don't take time to take your car to the shop to get service, eventually your car is going to break down, right? If you don't go get your oil changed, if you don't go get your brakes changed, if you don't get a new battery, the car's going to shut down on you. And our bodies are the same way. If you don't take time to pull your body into the shop and get it serviced, it's going to shut down on you. And that's what I try to explain to her all the time.
So real quick.
No, go ahead.
I'm not as well versed, so I don't remember the book. I don't remember the chapter and verse of the Bible, but there was a sermon that was preached at our church just a few weeks ago about one of the prophets who ended up running into a cave and being told to rest. Woke up, was given food, went back to sleep, woke up, and went on walking for 40 days.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. If that doesn't tell us at some point, you have to stop. Our energy, our time, our life is not an infinite resource. We have to recharge. And if God sent an angel to Elijah to say, I know what is in front of you, take a second. Take a minute. Minister to you, I minister to myself. Take a second, because what is ahead of you is a task. So take a second, regroup, get yourself together. It's not quitting. It's recharging, refocusing. Like, all right, you got what you need. You've been fed, you rested. Get up, get to it. But you can't keep going without taking that reprieve.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I just think we also, let's go and put this comment up there because it's true. Here's my thing. Y'all right. Y'all right. My thing is just that everybody's bandwidth is different. So for what might be overwhelming to me might not be overwhelming to him and vice versa. So I agree. It's about not getting, we shouldn't always get to the point to where we're overwhelmed before we even take a break. And I think a lot of times we do that because I'm like, when I think of even planning our family vacation, I'm like, well, I didn't work the whole over half a year before we even take a vacation. And to me, that's too long, especially this year because we're not even going to August. So I got to work all the way from January to August with no break. That's not healthy. But I think we have to keep that in mind. Is not to get to the point of being overwhelmed, but everybody's overwhelmed is different. I might be able to do stuff 7 days a week, and it might not be that much for me. And so that's where sometimes that this second thing bleeds into the first. But I think the biggest thing is not neglecting the first thing. I think it's more of a problem, whether it's ministry or it's work or it's friends, whatever it is. If your family is your first ministry and whatever it is like going above your family, then I think that's when it's the problem. If we're neglecting as wives, Bridget, if we're neglecting if God's husbands, then our kids. So if we're neglecting those things, then I think that's when it becomes more of an issue.
You said that too loud.
Well, I mean, we on the internet. I mean, and that's just what I'm just saying. It's like you have to be mindful. And that's why I think everybody, I know we're all different in how much we can handle. I think the biggest thing is not feeling like you have to get to your max. We should be like your car shouldn't run out of gas before you go to the gas station to get gas.
Right.
You should get gas. Well, according to my mom, when you're about a half a tank.
That's right. Preach.
But seriously, that's how it should be. We should never get tapped out. But I think sometimes we're gonna have different boundaries, though.
Yeah,
It's just fine. But you have to be able to identify them and not say I'm close enough to it to get there. That's like running your gas on E. Like, oh, it's on E, but I still got 20 miles and you cut off at 15.
Right.
And you also have to take into account let's take our dynamic, for example, because we're husband and wife.
Are we? I'm sorry. Our anniversary in 3 days.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Our anniversary is in 3 days. 3 days. 3 days. Okay, go ahead.
So you also have to take into account the person that you're with, right? So if you're always overwhelmed, eventually that's going to pour into us, because then it's my job to say, okay, why are you overwhelmed? Let me see what I can do to help you not be overwhelmed all the time, right? And so then that's another thing that starts weighing on us, is because you're overwhelmed all the time. Saying no sometimes. Instead of just saying, hey, I'm not going to do this right now because I got these other 4 things on here.
Yeah, and that's basically what bro was saying. Because I had to learn that. I mean, because I'll be honest. I mean, I used to do way too much. And my too much was just kind of like, well, babe, I got to go do this and I got to go do that and I got to go do this and I got to go do that. And basically it was like, wait a minute, where's family? Like, where is your first ministry, your family? Because you're doing you're pouring all over here. It's not even like you're pouring from an empty cup. You're only pouring here. You're not pouring at home. So that is true. That's definitely true. And that's something we have to think about. And even not married, I mean, still, you got to think about what does that do to your kids too? If you're always doing stuff for everybody else, but then you don't have no time for them. I mean, granted, we're not going to be at everything all the time, but it's like, again, priorities. And like mom was saying, knowing your why. Like, what is our why? Is it just to do what everybody asks us to do because they asked us?
So just to kind of put a little spin on priorities, there's something that one of my managers sent me. It's like a matrix of how to figure out what's urgent and important, what's urgent but not important, what's important but not urgent, and what's neither important nor urgent. You have to figure out what quadrant things fall in and operate accordingly. Everything can't be urgent because then nothing is. Everything can't be important because then nothing is. So you have to be able to figure out what energy to put where. Otherwise, you're putting everything into everything and then jack of all trades, master of none.
Right, because you really can't multitask. That's impossible. Because you can't give all of yourself to everything at the same time. Like you can't, there's just no way of doing that. Do y'all want to? Yes, we want to be real, Mom. Yeah, Mom, we
like
do.
You tell me all the time, we got kids to raise. They're trying to be a single parent.
What's up, bro? Yeah, we do. Like, I mean, we do. And I think that's just the thing you talk. We have prioritizing this, and priorities might look different in different seasons. Like if if your marriage is struggling, your marriage got to be your priority if you want it to work. So it's like if he tell me, babe, I'm unhappy, this ain't working, then I definitely gotta focus into him. That means I'm gonna have to pull back from other stuff because that's my husband. So like we have to, like they were talking about discernment. I think it was mom that said that too, being able to use discernment and being selfish. Yeah, because I always say, like we're talking about self, I don't think self-care is even selfish. If I know I'm tapped out because I've gotten to that place, then I'm gonna have to say no. I have gotten better. I have not mastered. Yes, I have. You don't even know. See,
your way too much is just too much now. It's not way too much.
I don't do way too much. I just do too much, not way too much. I used to do way.
The eye roll is killing me.
Well, let's do this question. Since we're talking about what's balance, what is it? What does that even look like?
I'll let one of y'all go.
I heard that big old sigh.
I don't know what is balance. That's a thing. It's the thing that go like this.
I can't.
Well, it don't go like this. It would be like this.
Yeah. That's not balance.
That's not balance. So it's the opposite of
opposite.
Right. I think it's kind of what you said, Mom said about the gas tank. When you feel like you're getting like halfway depleted, slow it down. If you feel like you're getting to the point where you're giving more than you're able to replenish, slow it down.
Bridget.
what does the scripture teach?
For sure.
It is hard to know, but I think we have to learn to know ourselves and ourselves in different seasons. And it's like, if we can honestly say that we know that we're talking about doing too much, we're overwhelmed. If we know we're overwhelmed, I would say anything more than 25% really is probably too high. But I would say, even let's just say 50%. If you're over 50% overwhelmed, like over 50% of the time you're overwhelmed, then obviously there's no balance. Because even 50% would be, I said this, I acknowledge that. Because 50% will be right in the middle. But I still believe we don't have to be overwhelmed though. There might be a week that's tough. There might be a week that we have that might be tough, but we shouldn't be living in a state of overwhelmed most of the time. That should not happen. That's not balance because we're mostly overwhelmed. So then we're doing like this. We should be able to be like this. Somebody comes
burning a hole in the side of your face.
I would say balance for me is having just enough balance between. So I use myself as an example all the time. So like, I want her when she gets home or she's done working, for us to be able to have our time together, right? So I do things to kind of keep that balance. So I may do the laundry and the cooking and the cleaning, and then during the school year, making sure the kids' uniforms are ready for tomorrow and the lunches are packed, right? So then when she gets home, sound like a lot, don't it?
Well, tell them what I do.
Yes, I do the cooking. Yes, I do the cleaning.
He did say sometimes. He didn't say all the time.
So that creates balance with us. So then when she gets home or gets done working, that leaves our space for us. And then the same thing, with the kids, it's easy to balance it now because while she's working and I have time to spend with the kids, that's that balance on that side. Because then I got the time with them. Then when she's done, I got the balance in this time with her. And then when she does like she did yesterday and takes the kids skating, I got the balance for myself and I can just watch skating movies.
Yeah. I don't know that I've really ever have balance in my life. If I'm being honest, I don't know what balance looks like for me. I've always had a lot going on. Like even in my youth, I helped take care of my grandmother. So I always, if I wasn't taking her to the doctor's appointments, I was cooking for her and whoever else was in the house. I was making sure my mom's uniforms got ironed. I was making sure that some people ate. I was making sure.
Some people. Who are those people, Bridget?
You're the only one, though.
You heard that she has the chef hat, right?
Yeah, she said she was cooked. She did say that.
Hair done too.
I was always doing stuff, and that'll take me into something totally different. But I've never had balance. I've always just managed.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had time. And I can remember thinking that early on that I wasn't going to have kids because I felt like, and I'm sorry, Mom, I'm not trying to put you out there, but my mom wasn't balanced either because my mom always worked. She worked, came home, went to another job. My mom always had 2 jobs. She would come home from one job, change her clothes, go to her other job, just go. And I can remember like, nah, I won't. I would love to not have to do any of those things and be able to breathe a little bit. But I'm a part of that cycle where I took on the same thing and yeah.
And I think a lot of it, because that makes me go back and I reflect and I think I'm like, both of my parents had 2 jobs or they were working and in school and they were taking care of us at the same time. So like, I'm not blaming it on them. One of them's no longer here, so I definitely won't do that. But even my mama, like, I'm not blaming it, but I'm saying I think it is like we see it. So we, even if we're not doing it on purpose, we do it because, well, they did, and they're here, and everything is great. They're, but can it be too much though?
It definitely is. It definitely is. Some of my yeses to my kids is because I know that I have overwhelmed my time with the things that I have to do. And I don't want them to have to always feel like the only time that they see me is in this house. So I'm like, well, let me see what else I can do. But it winds up making me back to being unbalanced and unhealthy. And I know long term, I mean, it's already taken its impact. But I'll say, yeah, it's hard for me to break out of this cycle. It's hard for me because I genuinely try to figure it out. And I feel like the moment that I offload something off my plate, then something comes to replace it.
And then that's when you say no.
Honestly, I like that because that's the same thing happens to me. I'm like, oh yeah, just like yesterday, we had nothing to do. Then something came on our plate. We probably should have just said no.
No. Something didn't come up. Y'all found something.
They found us.
No. Because that could have been. I'm only saying this because I understand. You found something to do because you're so used to being in that go cycle that not going feels foreign. So you're like, I very easily could have said no. Very easy. Well, maybe not easily for y'all. Could have said no.
Thank you for that.
Could have said no. Could have taken that time.
So the girls were with my mom yesterday. If she would have told them no, we can go another time, they'd have been perfectly fine staying with their grandma and having fun down there. That was a choice, and that's what you want to do instead of having a day where you could have just reset and just chilled at home.
And not shaming your choice.
Huh?
It's just the fact that not shaming the choice.
And no.
Those are the babies. They're the babies. They just want to go stay.
Hey, listen, Linda. None of our children are babies.
That part.
Not one of them. They've all heard no. They've all understood no.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't want to say no. They would say okay.
I would have gladly said no. She asked me if I wanted to go. I said no. No, I'm not going.
He was like, nah, that sounds like a girl's trip.
Y'all got it.
I said, but these boys, our son was going. Your godsons were gonna be there.
No.
I know, Mom. That's not what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
No.
Mom, that's not what I was saying. I was just saying y'all did a lot too. I'm not saying that. But sorry, I just want to acknowledge that because I'm gonna get a text. No, I know. I'm just saying y'all did stuff too. Y'all didn't just sit at home. I mean, no, you're right. And sometimes I used to feel like if I wasn't jumping from thing to thing to thing to thing, that something was wrong. I used to think that. Now I don't. I actually would value a day where I don't have to do anything, but it just doesn't happen. It doesn't.
It's because you don't say no. That's what it boils down to. You don't say no, or you don't say I'm not doing that. Don't do it. I promise you, it's very, very simple. Hey, you want to do X, Y, Z? No, I'm not doing that today. And then you go on about your day.
But then, like I said, sometimes it goes back to you kind of do want to. Sometimes it's not that you don't want to. You kind of do, but you probably shouldn't.
Yeah. Then you say no. Everybody say it with me. No, I'm not doing that.
No, we ain't saying
I'm
that.
not even exactly.
Now try that when something happens when you don't really feel like doing it and just say, no, I'm not doing that. No.
But I can see what Ntatu was saying though. Sometimes you want to say no, but you feel like you should. The biggest example that comes up for me is going to the gym. There are definitely mornings where I'm like, I only got like 5 hours of sleep. I'm tired. I don't want to go. But when I go, because I know I should, I end up feeling better after the fact. Should I have worked out 4 hours of sleep? Probably not. But at the same time,
I would use that's the same thing for Sunday morning. Sometimes we love the Lord. We say sometimes you don't feel like getting up and going to church. You don't feel like it, but you go and you feel better because you needed to be there. But go ahead.
Yes,
We don't have an answer yet, Mom. We're gonna answer the question. We don't have an answer. We're trying to get there.
I feel bullied.
I don't know. It depends on the moment.
And to piggyback off your point, also when you say, hey, no, I'm not going to go to church because I need to reset, that also makes you feel good.
Does it? I mean, it depends. Now, if I'm sick or if I'm like, I really just can't do it, then I won't.
Get to that point, though. That's the whole point of what we're saying. It shouldn't get to that point to where you shouldn't have to be sick to take a day off from anything. Let's take it like that. It shouldn't have you where your health is
the determining factor.
There you go.
But we've kind of been How many times were you sent to school sick? How many times how many times have we sent our kids to school with like they wake up and they're like, oh, my stomach hurts, you'll be okay.
Bye.
If you get a fever, call me. They'll send you to the office and they'll call me, and then you can come home.
I got it good. So we're gonna go with your point. And so you know what ends up happening? You get a call from the school and say, hey, you're gonna have to come pick your kid up.
Sometimes. But a lot of times they go throughout their day.
That's true.
I'm saying that's kind of how we've been programmed. You sent me to school with my stomach bubbling like a sauna or like a spa. Like
we also
I'm not feeling good, but I can get through the day.
Right. It's a lot of stuff that we programmed with. I love using myself as an example because everybody knows and they know I'm not lying. Let's take parenting. I was brought up to where your kids shouldn't say nothing once you tell them to do something. There should be no kids in the room when adults are talking. No kids should have an opinion about anything, right? Mm-hmm. As I got older and I've learned to parent better.
And you married a therapist. Go ahead.
That's true.
Let the record reflect.
That's not always the case because kids have feelings too, and they're going through things that we may not know about. So some stuff we have to deprogram ourselves to not think that's the way it should be.
I was just saying it as a reason for why it is. Like that's what we know. But we can break that cycle. We have the ability to break that cycle. It's just very, very hard to when that's all you've ever seen is go, go, go until you can't. Well, at some point, you have to stop and say, that didn't work for that person. Don't want it to work for me that way.
And it's a learning process, right? But again, it shouldn't take
A breakdown.
Yeah, your body shouldn't break down to where you get to that point.
I don't think any of us have.
Me either.
It's a struggle, brother.
Yeah, because I just when you talked about going to school sick, I remember being the child who got sick before school and still wanting to go to school, and my mom telling me you can't go to school, you just got sick, because I felt like, well, I already got sick, I'm fine now, so I can go to school. That's asked my mom. I remember I cried.
No,
it was like third or fourth grade. Like I got sick, you know what I mean? Got sick. And I'm like, okay, I feel better now. Can I go to school? And she's like, no, because you can't. Because I want to go to school. So I'm gonna say, I think that to me, that mindset is the same. Now, I think there's a fine line between being sick and going somewhere I shouldn't go versus, But I'm just gonna say that might not stop me because I don't know. I'm wired different or something. I'm just different.
You have perfect attendance, didn't you?
Yeah, because I mean, why not? I had to be in school. I love school, but that's different. I mean, I did. I love.
You want to break your streak? I get it.
Yeah, like I had to be there, and I'm like, now I'm not gonna get perfect attendance because I didn't miss school.
Racks.
And look, now she's a doctor.
For sure.
Boom. Pay out.
So sometimes that mentality it serves a purpose in its season. Like Mama Lane said, you have your seasons. In its season, that go, go, go mentality serves a purpose. But at some point,
you're gonna break.
You have to be able to recognize when you need to rest. She do.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, she got a lot of.
I'm just saying, I love school, so I just remember that because I thought that was weird. I'm like, I don't know what child does that, but I did. I remember that.
Okay.
So, yeah. Anywho, so obviously we're not gonna get to all these questions. I want to ask a couple more before we wrap up, though.
I feel like we covered a lot of our questions.
I feel like we did too. That's what I'm looking. I definitely want to do.
I'm trying to cancel my series.
Oh, okay. So fine. Let's go to question 3 then.
Oh boy,
so we talked about being overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Nah, you asked for it, sister.
We can still hear her even if you cover.
I done took this call on my phone on the way here. We doing this anyhow. So we talked about all the hats we wear. We talked about being overwhelmed by them, but why are they overwhelming? What about the hats that we wear is overwhelming? And do you communicate it at all? And if so, how?
What about your role is overwhelming?
And don't say everything that's not there.
That's the answer.
Specifics.
It's hard to explain. I don't know how to having to. So with the boys, it is overwhelming because I feel like they have so many needs and I have all of these expectations of them and of me as the parent to try to help them. And when I feel like they're not getting it, or if they make me feel like I'm not getting it, it goes 0 to 100. So I'm like, I don't know what to do in this space. Like, I don't know how to make you understand. And obviously, I don't understand what the heck you talking about. So when it comes to when they have crash outs and which is pretty often, That's the most overwhelming for me. Like it with what they deal with every day during the school year. I am in an overwhelmed state. I am in a anxiety state because I'm like, Lord, just let them make it through the day. Just let them make it through the day. Let them not go to in-school suspension. Let them. I am with. They are my. And it sounds mean, and I don't mean it mean, but a lot of times they are my biggest source of overwhelmedness. I know that's probably not a word, but they are. For work, because I'm doing something newish. I've been a manager pretty much my whole adult life, but managing within a company that's brand new and having to figure out all the nuances of how to develop a new company and develop your people and develop policies has been a new thing for me. So I walk into this state overwhelmed every day because it's something when I don't know something and I can't figure it out fast enough. That's where I'm the most overwhelmed. So I can cut all the other explanations down to that because I just realized with parenting, I couldn't figure it out, overwhelmed. Work, can't figure it out, overwhelmed. Church, can't figure it out, overwhelmed. Ta-da!
But the second part, how do you communicate that?
Oh, I don't. I don't do well at it at all.
No, I just wanted to ask that question. So you recognize that because you don't.
I go.
No, we can see it.
I think everybody can, and I think it's a good and bad thing that people can. I don't like to show that I'm overwhelmed because I want to have it all under control, but I don't.
There's that word. I was waiting for it. That C word. I was waiting.
Most of the time, I lean when I allow. When
you gotta lean in for that one.
Lean in for that one. What'd you say?
What?
What's that big out?
When?
Yeah, that's the question.
When we make you?
That
Yes.
part. There you go.
Yeah. You're right. Okay, never mind.
Thank you for being honest.
Because y'all know half the time. Not that I expect y'all to. Half the time I don't want to talk about it because I feel like everybody got their own stuff. And I already know I get on everybody's case about the same thing. Don't even say it. Okay, I get it. I know.
Ooh, look at that.
I can't.
You go ahead and answer the question.
What
Thanks.
about the role of overwhelming? How do you communicate this? What about my role is overwhelming? I mean, just being a dad and a husband is overwhelming itself in the current world that we live in, because you have all of these opinionated out, like all these podcasts that I watch, right? It's always not your podcast.
I know. We're talking about
Like relationship podcasts, I would say. It's always these defining roles that they say, oh, a husband should be this and the wife should be doing that, and if he's not doing this, he's not this, and if she's not doing that, he's not that. And that can be overwhelming if you don't know who you are as a person and as a man of God and as a husband and as a father. Because you start listening to that stuff, you're like, dang, I'm not doing none of that right now. Like, am I a bad dad? Am I a bad husband? Am I not serving God the right way? But then what I also had to realize is it's about how your household functions, right? It's what the person that you spending your life with needs your help with. Every relationship is different, so everybody's walk is going to be different. You can't say this person should. There's no way she can do all the cooking and cleaning because of her schedule. So if I leaned on what they're saying in these podcasts is she should be doing that, we would go hungry because she's late most of the time.
Except for on Sundays, because I cooked today.
Oh, okay. Domesticated.
During the week, yeah, I work too late.
Yeah, right. If I leaned on her, just well, you should be doing all the laundry. We have a pile of dirty clothes in the house because she.
Can you say it again?
What?
You don't expect me to do it alone?
No, I didn't expect it. Let's not play word games.
Roasted chicken, 2 roasted chickens, mashed potatoes, and
it's okay to help.
Broccoli.
It's okay to help with it sometimes.
Right. Balance. See? Balance.
Right, but if I went off of those defining roles that a woman should do, hey, you can't do that because every household is different. So for me, when I was younger, still trying to figure out how to be the head of the house and a good father and a husband, like that weighed on me a lot because I'm like, man, I'm not making X amount of money. Like I can't do all of this, or my kids are doing this, and I'm maybe I'm not doing it this way. So that's where it was overwhelming for me. Like I said, how do I communicate? I communicated a lot better than I did before in the past. Because what happened was, we had a talk last week or the week before last. So you can't say that I sat you down and told you what I was overwhelmed with. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Last time.
Yes or no?
Booyah.
What is that?
Booyah. So I think now I communicated a little better than what I did, let's say 5 years ago, because normally what happened is I would just hold it all week and I just wouldn't talk to anybody because I was so overwhelmed. And what's wrong? Nothing. Something's wrong. And I'm good. Knowing that it was a lot wrong, I just wasn't saying it because, like y'all say, you wear it badly because everybody can see it.
Mm. And it's funny though that, like, funny not funny, how when people ask us, we will say nothing, even though we know that they already know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why we just don't talk about it because they already know.
Be hard, bro.
It is hard. It is, but yeah, communication is key. And this one, silence is a slow killer. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not great at this either, personally. You know what? As the only non-married person on the panel, there is a lot that I care. Not saying that you guys don't, but there's a lot that I carry personally by myself. And I am that person that will shut down and just kind of back away when I feel overwhelmed. The reason it's overwhelming to me is because there's so much responsibility tied to every title that I have. Like, I tell my kids all the time, you are my child. I am your mother. And that is a job that God gave me. And I take that very seriously. I don't plan to fail. I don't plan to fail at this job that he gave me. But doing that job, there are so many things to make sure that they're okay. Are you doing the right things? Are you, keeping up with your schoolwork? Are you am I building you to be or helping you become who God has made you to be? Because that is my job as your mother. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. On the flip side, there's a lot of expectation that I put on myself that comes with that may not necessarily be tied to that responsibility. I can do exactly what God is telling me to do with my children, but not always the way that I expect to be able to do it. Mm-hmm. And that's a challenge for me. Like, I should be able to do these things. Well, if you can't do it this way, are you just not able to do it at all? So that's what's overwhelming for me, is the constant responsibility. Like, I know if I don't do this thing, God is looking at me. Like, I tell the people that I manage at my work, like, hey, if somebody's coming to me asking questions about what you're doing, we got an issue, because if you're not on your job, that means that somehow I'm not on mine and it's coming at me. It's not coming at you. I'm taking that hit. So I gotta, whatever needs to happen to figure this out is what we got to do. So it's that constant feeling of I'm responsible for the outcome for someone else. That's one big thing that's really overwhelming for me. Like I said, I'm not great at communicating it. I will completely disappear. I know. I mean, I've joked about it like it's nothing for me to disappear for 2-3 days.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Or a week.
Or a week.
Or a week, yeah.
You gonna let it pass the week.
I love y'all because that's necessary for me. I need my village because that is how I A, call myself regrouping, but B, also end up sinking deeper into the overwhelm. So I'm not great at it, but as Ntatu and Lamar just said, it's not like I'm hiding it. Y'all always see it. So even if I don't say it verbally, I'm communicating it by not being present. I'm always communicating when I'm feeling a certain way, even if I don't mean to. It's there. I'm working on it, man.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, I think it is a blessing that we do have a village. And it's not a clique, it's a village, because there's a difference between the village and the clique. The clique is cool to hang out and go do stuff. The village, though, are people you can actually depend on, like when you actually do life together. And you're concerned about one another. And I think that's just the thing about having a village is a lot of times, yeah, our silence does communicate, because even silence communicates. When we shut down, it still communicates. Like, it's like, well, if we haven't talked all week, now, granted, do we all talk every day? No. But like, if we haven't, well, pretty much. Actually, when I'm like, yeah, if there's not a, something going on in the chat or something, it's like, okay, something must be off. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we do. So anyways, yeah, I guess when you from that perspective, okay, bro, we got you too. We got you too, bro, since you're getting us together. But I think yes, because but I think that's imperative, and that's one of the things that a lot of times we don't take full advantage of, the fact that we really do have villages, and for those of us that do, that to kind of connect with, and that we hold each other accountable. And I think that's the other part of it is that we do hold each other accountable, but accept that as love. Because like when we say, because a lot of times we don't communicate, we don't say we're overwhelmed. You can see it, we don't say it. But when your sister or brother says, hey, I can tell you're overwhelmed, be able to say, yeah, you're right, and here's what's going on. And receive it. And if they offer to help you, they want to come clean your house, or, whatever they going to offer to do, let them do it, because that's what we do to come with this stuff. I don't know, that just came to me. I'm just saying, because if they offer, that means they really gonna do it. So with that, we're gonna do our last question. Gonna shut it down. But with all of this and all the great comments and how are you planning to do better with time and not being so overwhelmed in the future?
She's going first.
I almost said a bad word.
Thank you. This is
it wasn't gonna be that bad. Anyway.
Said he got 5 on the cleaning. 5?
Just 5,
David.
That's like 30 seconds of cleaning. What you mean?
Yeah, nah, for real.
It's $79 for 4 hours.
Like I said, 30 seconds.
Okay, sorry. That wasn't the question. How am I planning to do better with time and not being so overwhelmed? I'm going to call my village. I'm going to phone a friend. No, seriously. I don't know. If I'm being honest, I don't know. I will I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna figure it out though.
Yeah, because you can phone a friend, a family. You can phone a family. I mean, y'all do live in Egypt, but I mean, we'll drive out there because y'all was out here, so we'll drive out there.
Yes.
Prayer, maybe.
Always.
Oh,
Prayer,
that's always there, Dave.
Yeah, David.
And you together. Prayer always, not maybe.
Always prayer. But then we gotta. So I'll say this. Then we gotta take it a step further. When we pray, we ask God to even like we're talking about mom, talking about discernment. If we're praying and asking God to show us maybe what we shouldn't have on our plate and how we should rework things, then we have to be willing to accept what God says, because God will tell us and show us.
He will.
And then we have to like take it a step further and like listen. Because what's the point of what's the point of asking God if we're not gonna listen?
Listen. Gotta hear him.
Because God will tell us, like, I'm gonna show you exactly what you don't need to be doing.
Yeah, you're right.
How to do it differently. Because sometimes it's not that we're not doing the right things, we're just not doing it the right way. Our priorities are all jacked up. And not be hard-headed. Oh, okay, bro. All right, bro. Got you.
You ain't gotta keep coming for me, David.
Deacon, what's your answer to this question?
I mean, I don't really know because I'm already doing that.
I don't know why you asked him. He clearly said he was not overwhelmed.
Yeah, because I know that feeling. Like I've been overwhelmed, and I don't want to feel like that. So I take the necessary steps to make sure I don't feel that way, because it pours over into everything else. It pours over into how your attitude is with your kids, with your spouse, with your boyfriend, friends, whatever. Like once you overwhelmed, it's a rush to it knocks everything else over. And so I've learned to say, hey, no.
And I'll piggyback off of that, because I think we set the tone, because we're all parents. We set the tone for our household. So when we're overwhelmed and we're on edge, like I noticed, like the morning says I'm the morning, because our balance is I'm the morning parent and he's the evening parent because of our work schedules. When I'm on edge, if I wake up in a mood or I wake up and I'm already on 10, my kids are on 15. It's like they feed off of my energy, because they kind of do match. I don't match energy, they match energy. So it does bleed into them. So I have to be cognizant of what I'm doing, because yes, if we're at odds, then our household is at odds. So when we're at peace, they're more at peace. So I think a lot of what we see in our kids, a lot of times is really a reflection of what's going on with us. Even if we're not saying it bleeds into them.
And I had to learn that too. So knowing what my role is now and being the head, I've noticed whatever my attitude is for the day, it sets the house. So if I wake up and I'm not speaking or feeling some type of way, that's how everybody is in the house.
You right about that, because when you be on some quiet stuff, I be like, that was my. I mean, I'm just
don't.
When y'all because I mean y'all are the head of the household. All jokes aside, and when y'all in the mood or something, it trickles down to everybody else. Because then it's like you in the mood, I'm in the mood because you in the mood, and they like, what's wrong with y'all? So we're going to phone a friend
and make sure that Christopher and Mason move in with their daddy.
Okay.
Who now?
They do live with their daddy.
Yeah, they right.
Don't know what they look like.
So on that note, apparently we got 6 twins out here that's no blood relation, but they twins. So we're gonna on that note. So it sounds like honestly, it sounds like Deacon North has probably the best balance ish. But I just think it's like we go back to the very beginning. We all have a lot of roles, wear a lot of hats, and like you said, Kia, our identities. Because some of it's not a hat. And I would even say if we take it like that, then being a parent is more like an identity, because that's who we are. And you can't even take that off. You just can't. And it bleeds into everything, because if the kid's sick, It does. If you at work and the kid is sick, you got to go pick them up. Like at school, it don't matter.
That. I'm talking about when we out of town.
You cannot take the dad hat off. Sorry.
Mama got it. I love you, Mama, if you're watching.
So what it sounds like to me is the hats, when it comes to different hats, different roles, different parts that we play, you have to choose when you can and cannot remove them. But for things that you are, your identity, you have to find a way to balance them. You have to find a way for not to get overwhelmed by them. If you're getting overwhelmed by everything, I say the hats go first because your identity can't be changed. You just have to figure out how to maneuver within them.
You saying the mic ice up. Can I have some?
Because I ain't ate nothing.
Oh, but you gotta eat. See, you ain't overwhelmed because you ain't ate. Now you got to eat something, Bridget.
And Mike and I.
So I love the way you said that, Kia, because that's absolutely right. Our identity, that's part of us, but our hats are an attachment, so you can actually remove that. So you're right. The hats will go first, and then because the identity is.
I didn't do it.
You have to learn the difference between an identity and a hat.
Yes, and I like that. I really love that actually. In terms of
me too, because at this point I can't separate.
Manager is a hat. Mom is an identity.
And even with the identity, we have to learn balance in that too, because even as a mom, or dad, it does not mean that everything you do is like like yesterday. We'll just go back to that as a good example. We should have probably just said no, because it's not like we're a bad parent for not taking them skating yesterday. We probably just should have waited and took them another day.
I said no.
Hey, you just said yesterday, but can we just add we aren't bad parents if we ain't take them, period?
You're right. Because even if we would have just said no, period, you're right. We could have just said no.
That stuff is bonus.
Because we just took them to the movies on Monday.
We did.
That stuff is extra.
You're welcome.
Something you wanted to do, not something that you needed to do. You didn't need to do that. They would have been okay had you not. The things you need to do are the things that they would not be okay without. They would have survived without going skating.
That's right.
But you wanted to take them. And again, not shaming the choice, but they would have been all right.
Drake got a song called Wants and Needs. Definitely.
It's okay. They won't need nothing for the next 3 weeks.
Yes, they will.
Yeah, because we going to Kings Island. Anyway, so
Just fine.
So the bottom line is we have to do better. We have to hold ourselves, but each other accountable. And I think that will help too, because I think a lot of the things that obviously one person struggling with this, but somebody else has a better grasp on it. And then another person struggling with that, but this person got a better grasp on it. And I think if we really lean in and be, there was. And actually, there really was. Because that was,
There was a couple of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It could have been a blessing the next day too, though, if y'all just said no.
So there's a lot. But the bottom line is, to answer the question, are we doing too much?
Yes.
Yes, it sounds like at least the women are. I don't know about maybe Lamar's not doing too much, but we do.
No more.
And I don't think it's because we're women. I just think it's because we have some work we have to do. We have to do better. But I think, again, holding ourselves accountable, discernment, mom, yes, answering that question, finding your why. I think your why varies depending on the season. But answering that question, I think, is important. But we got to do better, because when you know better, you do better. And honestly, if we do want to be around longer and actually be in good health, being around longer, we can't continue to do what we're doing, because we're going to age faster doing too much all the time.
You want to walk around looking like spoiled milk, do you?
Bye.
What is school?
Bye.
I don't even know. So, yes, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. So I do want you all to mark your calendars for our next podcast. We're not going to do the first Sunday in July because it's a holiday. Well, some people celebrate that holiday, but it is a potential person. Some people celebrate the holiday weekend that first Sunday. So we're going to do the second Sunday in July, which is July 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that'll be our next episode of our podcast. So I do want to thank everyone, our new permanent co-host,
Strong J.
Ms. Kia Cannon.
Strong J.
I want to thank you and for traveling to make sure we can see you. God is good. God is good. That's all I'm gonna say. God is good. So we appreciate you. And then Bridget and Lamar, we appreciate you guys as well for your everything, because y'all are just funny. Y'all are just so funny. So
Happy Juneteenth.
Amen.
you said Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth.
That's our holiday.
Why are you laughing?
Like 18 days.
We're not gonna be on here.
I know you're right. I'll be back before then, because on Wednesdays we have our Wednesday check-ins live at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please continue to tune in on Wednesdays for our Wednesday check-in. Our Wednesday, it must be past everybody's bedtime. So we appreciate you all. I know we went a little long tonight, but this is a very good conversation. And there'll be more to come, definitely more to come. But I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of our viewers. I appreciate all of your contributions. So our tag for Purpose Journey Counseling, every time we are together, I want to encourage you to be loving, be kind, be compassionate, and be intentional towards others as well as towards yourselves. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Lord willing, we will see you Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. for our Wednesday check-in.
Y'all looking for some lawn care? Hit me up.
No, that's right.
Y'all
Wait,
looking,
commercial.
What's the name of your business?
y'all see how clean this is? If y'all want y'all grass to look like that,
What's the name of your lawn care business, Lamar?
North Star Lawn Care Services. I have a business page on Facebook. Also, you can hit me up in my inbox on my messenger. So if you're looking for your lawn to get clean like some laundry, baby, hit me up.
Satisfied customer here.
Huh?
Said satisfied customer here. You got me together a couple times. Thank you, bro.
He does a very good job on our yard too.
Mhm.
Four.
What's
That's what you was doing like this. I'm like, that's not his phone. What's your phone? What's the number?
513-490-4324. I know, Mama. We just got you together on Memorial Day.
She said her grass is growing. It's been raining a lot.
She just got some healthy grass, man.
It is. Her grass looks great.
You
It's
got
real
stop
healthy.
tell True Green to take a year off.
So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for again your participation. Get off here for real. Everyone have a blessed evening. Have a blessed week. If you live on the east side, watch for the cicadas. East side of Cincinnati or wherever else they are. Watch for the cicadas. And blessings and love to each and every one of you. Have a good night.